Wayne often erred too far on the side of harshness, of cruelty. Treat others the way you would not like to be treated, it seemed to me, was his motto. No golden rule for him. With Chevy, at least sometimes there were surprises. As I rolled my luggage away, I heard the driver softly say, "Asante," and maybe the driver truly was grateful. Gratitude in principle and by practice. I knew a bit about that. This was late December, and our Christmas tree had been an oversized mother-in-law's tongue in a tall maroon urn. It was a houseplant that we'd owned for the preceding half-decade. Wayne had insisted it was the perfect segue into our Africa safari trip. Chevy had insisted that Christmas was its own event and deserved its own tree. Why spend the money after he had doled out so much on the impending trip? Wayne had asked. Well, Chevy answered. We laid our 3 gifts under the plant. My Christmas gift from them had been a nail clipper wrapped in an empty matchbox. Nothing to brag about. Still, I had made a practice of gratitude, a notion that I had stumbled upon on the internet, and so I was grateful for the gift. And after all, nails grew and would always need clipping. Maybe this was how the driver saw it too. A practical sort of gratitude. That first day on Mchangamble Beach, after we had all dragged our luggage to reception, and after Wayne, Chevy, and I had been greeted with coral-colored drinks with miniature umbrellas, and after we had checked in and inquired about the Serengeti excursion, which Wayne claimed would be the highlight of the trip, we settled in our executive room. Wayne and Chevy placed their luggage at the foot of their queen bed, and Chevy hurried into the bathroom. I knew what she was doing in there. Washing her hands and her face, and maybe more, before she would as much as touch anything in the room. She emerged disinfected in a robe and snaked her way through the opening of the mosquito netting that surrounded the bed frame. Pink flower petals had been arranged in the shape of a heart at the center of the coverlet. With one wave of her hand, she dispersed the petals onto the floor and sat on the bed. Wayne said, "But, sweetie, why?" To which she rolled her eyes. "Harry, your area is all set up. Make yourself comfortable," Wayne said from the archway between the room and the expanse of space leading to the adjoining walk-in closet. He waved his hand as if to wave me toward him. When I approached, he headed back to the main bedroom. The closet was large enough that even with my cot there was enough space for me to move around. I placed my luggage in a corner. There was no door separating the main room from the closet, but the arched doorway provided me semi-privacy. I sat quietly for some time on the cot, breathing in intentionally from one nostril, holding it for 5 seconds, breathing out the other nostril until my head and belly settled and the car sickness vanished. "Breakfast?" Wayne asked Chevy cheerfully over in the main bedroom. It was afternoon, which meant that it was actually lunchtime, but earlier Wayne had argued with the hotel staff until they agreed to make a special exception and serve him breakfast. Travel delays, Wayne had said, and "It isn't fair for us to miss breakfast due to no fault of ours." I turned my head away, embarrassed that he was beginning again. Wayne was doing what he did best, being a cheapskate. Breakfast was included in the price of the accommodation. Lunch was not. "Breakfast indeed," Chevy said, leaping off the bed. But then she sat back down. "You two will definitely need to clean up first. What time did they say again that breakfast would end?" "That's the beauty of it," Wayne replied. "No time at all. Whenever we arrive, they will serve it to us." I walked over to the desk not far from where Wayne stood celebrating his win. Win upon wins. Even this trip was a celebration of a different win. The purists, the third political party said to have splintered off from the Republicans, but who everyone knew also included many Democrats, had won the presidential election. All over our hometown of Edward, Pennsylvania, yellow and red elephant stickers, posters, and bumper stickers decorated front yards, windows, and cars. This trip, Wayne insisted, was a celebration. Well, I picked up the hotel's restaurant menu, leafed through it. It's usually over at 10 o'clock.